had this idea that I would read a couple of your comments on my videos relating to Iceland. I just screenshotted a few of the more recent ones. But let's just get started. In the process, I feel like this will help me to answer some of your questions, as well as just for you to see exactly what I think about the comments and what I really feel. So the first question, this one came on my Ryanair flight attendant assessment day video, and it says, why didn't you consider applying to Icelandair? Smiley face. Where were you based when flying for FR, which is an abbreviation? Is it true that Ryanair treat their employees badly? So I feel like I just want to answer the first question. That was actually the main thing that triggered my attention. The reason I didn't consider applying for them is because you need to speak Icelandic, which is the local language, to be considered for that job. Obviously, you can work in other departments of the company, but to be a cabin crew, you need to be able to speak Icelandic, and I don't speak fluent Icelandic. I mean, I know some words, I know quite a few words, quite a lot of words, but I don't speak the language fluently, and I can't communicate with the passengers. And I think the reason they want you to be able to speak Icelandic is because so many of their passengers are Icelandic, and if they start speaking to an Icelandic, they might get frustrated that, oh my goodness, why can't this flight attendant communicate with me in my language? I mean, this is Icelandair, surely you should be able to speak Icelandic. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't apply for Icelandair as a flight attendant. Also, I don't know, I just feel I didn't really envision myself as a cabin crew for Icelandair. Icelandair hire people who speak the language. That is quite an important thing for them. So even if you are a foreigner living in Iceland, you can still apply, provided that you speak Icelandic. That is quite important. But I think as well as knowing Icelandic, you must also know English, which I already mentioned is the language of aviation. Where were you based when flying for Ryanair? I was based in Berlin. I think I've said that a couple of times. Is it true that Ryanair treat their employees badly? It really depends on what you consider as bad. I would say they definitely are quite harsh, quite direct. I'm not gonna tell you that, oh, they treat employees badly, but I would definitely say there's a lot of room for improvement. Another comment says, I feel like you have done everything before Iceland to becoming a flight attendant. It's inspiring. Oh my goodness. When I saw that comment, I was like, wow, like I guess I have shown quite a lot of my journey of doing different things. I never really viewed myself as that inspiring person. That comment, without even Jasmine realizing, she actually kind of made me feel happy, because you know, with all these changes, I don't always feel like it's the best example or the most inspiring. I feel like I'm chopping and changing, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And as much as I love the changes and the adventure, I also do desire the stability. I also do desire that kind of constant being in one place for a long time. But that comment really made me feel like actually I'm kind of inspiring people out there to try something new. Somebody else did comment, updating Tinder location, and then I commented back, lol, sure, all the best, but do you plan on going? And then they said, yeah, I'll come see you. And then I said, don't bother, I'm not there. When they said that, you know, coming to see you, I'm like, really? Have some intention with everything. Please don't treat me like I'm just a person that will just date anybody, because I feel like I get a lot of guys like sending me DM messages. Like some people do treat me like I do owe them something. I really don't like that kind of attitude towards me, or just expecting me just because I'm single. They think immediately I will just accept any guy that just comes along. No. Have some respect, you know. Treat me like a sister. Don't you live in Iceland anymore? The answer to that question is no. I actually left Iceland about 1.5 years ago. I do miss it a lot. I do. You know, in my mind, when I left Iceland, I didn't really feel like I was leaving it. I would like to go there soon, maybe to stay, maybe to visit. But yeah, I definitely do miss it. I just wanted to read out this question because a lot of people still don't realize I am not in Iceland. So yeah, I mean, I thought when I made the videos about being black in Germany, and I mean, I did go for a while, to be honest. I was off YouTube for a while, so I can understand that people don't really know that. So yeah, I don't live there anymore. Just to answer that, I am German and want to learn Icelandic too, but I am afraid because I always hear how complicated it is. So I gave that person an answer, but I'm just gonna kind of free talk my answer here. If you know how to speak German, then I don't really see any reason why you wouldn't be able to learn Icelandic. When I was in Germany, I noticed so many words were extremely similar to Icelandic, or Icelandic words similar to German, and I feel like a German person would have an okay time with learning Icelandic. I mean, I don't know German so much, but I know that with German, there's a lot of words that are joined together, and it's kind of similar in Icelandic. So I don't see why you'd have a problem with learning Icelandic as a German speaker. I think that would actually give you an advantage of maybe an English speaker. So don't be afraid if you are a German speaker and you want to learn Icelandic. You are definitely at an advantage, and I feel like you would learn Icelandic pretty quickly. I think you would actually enjoy the language. I think you would actually enjoy the language learning process. It would be a lot of fun because you'd be like, oh, that's similar to German. Oh, that's similar to German. Oh, that's similar to German. It just has a different roll of the tongue. In German, there seems to be a lot of in Icelandic, there seems to be a lot of you know, so you just have to just get used to that difference. For example, in German, if a person was saying sorry, in English they would say sorry. So I've heard that before. Yes, I'm not making it up. In Icelandic they would say sorry, you know, not exactly like that, but they would definitely pronounce the R's with a roll. So that's probably one of the things that you would need to get used to, not transitioning but learning Icelandic as a German speaker. Laura said, I feel like it should be Laura, it's Laura, said, I can't believe how nice you are. I'm working on my PC in the back. Your voice is talking to me about Iceland. The time flies away. Good luck there, Laura. So I guess Laura did realize that I'm not in Iceland anymore, but she was saying that I'm a nice person, and I would like to think that I am nice. So thank you so much, Laura. It's just a sweet comment, isn't it? It's just like just dropping something sweet in there. Yeah, I think we should all be able to leave more kindness on people's videos about them. It's really encouraging. People don't realize that how nice these kind of comments are. I'm happy that you like having me as like a background video while you're working away. Ola left a comment saying, thanks, I'm planning to move to Iceland next year. So yeah, people are getting inspired. People feel like they want to, they're ready to make the move, sharing this information with me, and I'm just celebrating with you. Okay, this is Laura again. Hi Tabitha, I'm from Uruguay. I lived in the UK and I traveled a lot because of my job. I can understand you when you say the buses are late for a British. 2 or 10 minutes are unacceptable, but in Uruguay, it's a fair delay. Ha ha ha. When you talk about the food availability in Uruguay, there are plenty of imported goods and that's not a problem. But a couple of years ago, I turned into a minimalist mind, so I decided to do my shops only in the small supermarket, turning the corner. I decided to change my tastes, my diet and my routine, so I guess I could get used to the Icelandic market. I didn't screenshot more of that comment, but you get the gist of what she's saying. She's responding to this video, 10 things I hate about Iceland. Now that video, sometimes people just immediately disliked it because of the title. It's like got the word hate in it. It's a little bit of a trigger word, but I didn't really hate Iceland. I just wanted to kind of convey contrast with the 2 videos that I published. So I have 10 things I love about Iceland, and then I have 10 things I hate about Iceland. The whole point of those 2 videos as a unit is just to convey contrast, and the things that I mentioned in that video are not really hate. To do with Laura's comment, but with food availability, you really do have to kind of get used to what they have, especially with local, it depends on where you live. But for me, I was living next to, is it Bonus? Yeah, I was living next to Bonus. That was the supermarket that I was mostly trying to get my shopping at. Never really went to Hagkaup. Then there was Kronan, which is a bit more expensive, but they do have certain things that Bonus doesn't have. Then what else was there? Oh, there was Netto as well, but I didn't really shop at Netto. And Laura is saying that she's becoming more minimalist, so it wouldn't be a problem for her. Feral Child says, how well do you speak Icelandic now? The answer to that is I still don't speak Icelandic. Honestly, there's so many things that I would have done differently now that I think about it. When I first went there and I started to actually realize that, wow, I'm actually interested in learning this language. When I first realized that should have been my only goal. That should have been my goal, to learn the language. And then I wouldn't have gotten sidetracked. I would have been like, I came here for the language, I'm staying here for the language, and I will not leave until I know this language. And then by that time I know the language, I'm already kind of integrated and I can speak to people and I'm having fun with it. One thing I would encourage people to do when they decide to make a move to a country and they feel like it's for good, definitely focus on learning the language and try not to get sidetracked, because when it comes to kind of finding new jobs, which I was trying to do but also in a bit of a stressful state of mind, I think just try to focus on the main goal goal of you being there, it's really easy to move. It's really easy to leave a place when you don't really have any ties or responsibilities there. It's really easy to leave. But if you set your heart on something, like I had my heart so set there, definitely stick it out, even the hard times, and I think it would pay off. Not that I'm completely regretting the adventures and the things that I've done after, but I would say that I would still be in Iceland if I had really focused on the language aspect. To answer that question, I don't speak Icelandic well. Another person says, are hotel jobs easily available in Iceland? They put the Iceland flag. I said yes, they are. Of course, you can work as a housekeeper, you can work as a receptionist. Maybe if you have qualifications in the hotel industry, you can work in other departments of, not necessarily in the hotel, but maybe in the head office. So yeah, there are loads of hotel jobs because there are hundreds, literally hundreds of hotels. But at the moment, obviously with everything going on, I'm not sure how the tourism industry is going to be doing, but it's one of the main jobs that people do when they go to Iceland. Working in hotels, working in stores, you can easily get by if you know English. And actually, if you don't know English, a lot of people tend to get housekeeping jobs if they don't know English, because it's more of a physical job, you know? It's not really about interacting with tourists who usually speak English. Curtis says, you looked happy in Iceland. I thought you were going to stay there a long time. A lot of people thought this, and I thought this as well. And this comment actually got 3 thumbs up, and this was on my Facing My Fears video. Then I answered. I'm just going to read out my answer because it's short. I was very happy actually. I just allowed some fears to creep in and got sidetracked. My plan was to stay for a very long time, and I would still like to return, but the time isn't right yet. Many people thought that I would stay in Iceland for a long time. Why? Because that was my intention, and I actually expressed that was what I wanted. That was like me kind of fulfilling a dream. But life happens. Now I know what it really means to kind of move abroad, and the different adjustments, the patience that you need to have in order to integrate, and you just need to find a way to make it work for you. I feel like I want to talk about this a bit more. If you thought I was going to stay there a long time, you thought correct. Don't think you thought wrong, because that's something that I thought for myself. And like I said, when I left, I didn't feel like I was leaving. I just thought, okay, I'll be back. I'm popping out. I'm popping back. So next, I'm even gonna blur out this person's username because this is a terrible comment, really mean. And this is on this video about how to get an Icelandic man, dating and marriage in Iceland. So somebody commented, we in Scandinavia and Finland don't think that looking as dark as coal is attractive. I'm just being honest. There is a big difference between having a olive skin tan and being dark as coal. People have confidence. Like, to be honest, I was like, this is such a mean comment, but I don't want to give them the satisfaction of getting angry. So what I left is, oh really, crying laughing emoji. That's your personal opinion, mister. Things must be really bad for you to be sharing such a mean opinion. And then they said that you are racist against Scandinavian people. I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. When people leave these comments, on one hand I'm thinking that is your personal opinion about what you think about dark-skinned women. On the other hand, I'm thinking maybe this is genuinely what people think. Maybe this is actually genuinely what people, is it men? Darker, just being a difference. No, he didn't mention about men. He just mentioned about the Scandinavian and Finnish people, that they don't find dark skin attractive. Don't want to say anything bad. I don't want to say anything that puts me down. If you don't like dark-skinned women or dark-skinned people, that's your problem. And I should have never given this woman or man the satisfaction of my reply. So many people don't find me attractive, but they don't tell me that to my face, do they? The fact that you need to express that obviously shows that you have an insecurity with yourself. When he said that, I was like, oh, that's your personal opinion. But actually, it's not just a personal opinion, it's actually a racist attack. Guys, if you feel like somebody's not attractive to you, don't attack them. Just go for what you like, you know? Just go for what you want. You don't have to paint a whole nation as not being. When I really think about it, I can actually personally attest, I can personally tell you that that is a lie. Black people sometimes ask me, they are concerned if they will be accepted in these countries and these societies. And usually for the most part, I tell them, yeah, you will be accepted, it's fine. But obviously, I do have to make them aware of the realities as well. Another comment. I was wondering what on earth the dislikes were about, but judging from a couple of comments here, it looks like some people just read the title, read it all wrong, and left a dislike without having any idea what the video is actually about. I'm not sure how I ended up watching this, even though I am an Icelandic man. YouTube autoplay is a thing of mystery, but I found the conversation real interesting. You see, for every negative comment, there are like 10 good ones. So actually you're bang on that people did dislike this video because they just saw black people talking about Nordic dating, and a lot of people feel hurt about that because like, what are these black girls doing in a cold country? They feel upset. I'm literally just one person. There are millions and billions of people out there. Some people really just got upset with the title, and I can think of like different groups of people who might have gotten upset about it. So someone said, so that's why you went there, and I thought it was for work. You went looking, haha. So somebody's referring to this how to get an Icelandic man video that I went looking. That's so funny. No, I didn't. I promise you I didn't go looking. I honestly went to Iceland because of the nature. I felt like I'd be much more excited and invigorated and generally inspired if I was in Iceland, if I was living close to the mountains and the sea. And so that is the reason why I went to Iceland. I went to be closer to nature. I would say that after a couple of months I did start thinking that actually it would be nice to find love, but I didn't go looking. I really didn't go looking. But hey, it's not a crime. Seek and you will find. I'm a believer, so it's all good. Next, Iceland's lost. Hope you get back there. Smiley face. Your pronunciation of Reykjavik is the best I've heard from a foreigner. Now, I'm not sure if in that video, okay, this was on the why I had to leave Iceland video. I'm even thinking about changing the title. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I said Reykjavik or if I said Reykjavik, or if I said Reykjavik in that video because I just don't remember every single detail, but thank you. I'm happy that I can pronounce Reykjavik properly. I usually do just say Reykjavik. I never roll my R. Reykjavik. You rarely catch me rolling my R's. So I probably did say Reykjavik. Okay, so they also said that Iceland lost. Oh yeah, maybe it's a loss because obviously I left and I still feel like I am a big advocate of Iceland. I only say good things. Of course I talk about the reality, but I am definitely a big ambassador. Helgi Haraldsson says, wow, just got a lesson of the authentic Icelandic right from the real Vikings mouth. Appreciated. Then I I suspect a bit of sarcasm. First of all, they said authentic Icelandic Vikings mouth. Like, I'm clearly not a Viking. Like, to be honest, that made me laugh. I'll be honest, that actually made me like literally laugh because the sarcasm was just too much. And usually I'm not like into sarcasm, but that was just hilarious because why would you even need to leave a comment like that? Because, oh man, you can clearly tell I'm not a Viking. Anyways, whatever. I just found it funny. Another comment, very true about everything. I like your videos. I live in Iceland, northern part. This was on the 10 things I hate about Iceland video. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. When will you move back to Iceland? You seemed most happy in Iceland. I hope you find a good Scandinavian boyfriend, but you are a gorgeous girl. Oh, when people can actually see like my mood or my emotions, and I can tell that, oh, they kind of can sense it. They could see that actually I was happy in Iceland. That's something that I didn't really feel like, I didn't even realize I was portraying that much happiness, but it's really true. I was actually happy. This is not the only comment about like me seeming happy in Iceland. I have to change the battery. Okay, back to responding. And they also said, I hope you find a good Scandinavian boyfriend. Sure. I just commented, yeah, I hope so too. Like, I really wouldn't mind if I meet a Scandinavian or even like someone from here in England. I wouldn't mind. Let's see how things pan out, yeah? Let us see. Actually, I'm just gonna read out. You are so right. Iceland was my natural home and I still feel it is. I'm hoping to go back to visit soon. However, to move back there, I need to have a few more things in place. I hope I find a Scandinavian boyfriend too. Smiley face, heart emoji. Then they commented, yes, I hope you soon move back to Iceland. Find a Viking boyfriend. Lol, smiley face. That was a bit of banter back and forth. That was quite funny. You never know. You really never know, do you? I'm open to it. Somebody commented, Derek Kim commented, what about Finland? I'm just gonna read out the correspondence. I said, I have never been to Finland before, but I plan on visiting next year. So I guess I will update you about it after my visit. So actually, I was planning to go to Finland. I really wanted to go and visit, but I'm glad that I didn't. When the whole Corona thing started, my plane ticket got cancelled. So then they left me a link about Finland Finland being the happiest country, and they also commented, according to the 2019 World Happiness Report, Finland is the happiest country for a second year in a row, followed by 3 other Nordic countries: Denmark second, Norway third, and Iceland fourth. Pretty interesting. I always heard that Denmark was the happiest, but I guess that was a couple of years when I heard that, and maybe Finland have caught up being the happiest. On the Move says, I'm so captivated with Iceland, true story ... When I did my ancestry DNA tests, I'm 3% Norwegian / Icelandic. LMAO, I'm a Black American girl. I was like, that's my sign, I'm going to Iceland. You're so inspiring. Oh my goodness, that made me laugh, because it's just like 3%, but she was like, that is my sign. Hey, if that's what you needed to motivate you to go on a trip to Iceland to see you meet your ancestors, go for it. And guys, don't take this seriously. Some people need to understand that it's okay to be curious about other cultures. It doesn't mean you're selling out to your own culture, to your own people, whatever. It's okay to be curious about other cultures, about other countries, about the way people do things elsewhere, and still enjoy your own culture, still enjoy being Black, still enjoy being African, Caribbean, or whatever you are. So don't be offended about people just having a little fun with it, you know? I want to visit Iceland so bad. I'm thinking about going to book my trip next year, and I say, yeah, go for it. You'll have a great time, and I really mean that. Book your trip and go for it, like next year. I'm pretty sure things would have settled down by then, you know, fingers crossed, and you can really enjoy your trip. Praying for people, I'm praying for this world. I just pray that things have settled down and people are able to travel again. Airlines are back up and running, and yeah, they've definitely taken a hit, but I believe they can come back from it. So many industries have taken a hit. I feel like this should be a time that every company, every industry, every individual is learning. It has happened in the past, so I just hope that if for any reason that this kind of outbreak happens again, that we as a world are more prepared. I think certain countries responded much faster than others. The UK wasn't one of the first, like the fast responders, and that's why we are taking such a hit. But yeah, I just hope that we can really bounce back from this, and I hope that you guys, if you have lost anyone, if you're sick, I pray that you recover well and that you are given peace and comfort during this difficult time. And for those of you who are healthy, please do continue to stay safe, okay? I was just in Iceland and I would love to move there without having to marry first. And then I commented, that's possible, I did it. You don't need to marry to be able to move to a country. It's not the only option. If you're living in the EU citizen, you can move there for work. If you're from the US, marriage is not the only way to move to Iceland. If you're from outside the EU, if you have a specialist job and you can get a company to invite you over, or maybe you come as a student, that could be one way to move to Iceland. But don't feel like, oh, I need to marry a local to get to Iceland. If you genuinely want to find love in Iceland, I don't see anything wrong with that. Somebody actually left a comment on my video, really hateful. I think he was actually Icelandic, and he was saying, oh yeah, foreign women, they come to Iceland only to marry the men, only to divorce them 4 years later. I feel like that comment was actually an expression of a personal experience, but please don't take your experience out on everybody, you know? Some people genuinely just want to find love, you know? When a person moves for love, it's not like they have everything to gain. They're also making sacrifices back home. They're leaving a life behind them. But if you're only moving just for Iceland, oh, I want to be in Iceland, so I'm gonna marry local. I don't know, get your priorities in order and get your motivations straight. I just say do it for the right reason. I definitely could continue this conversation, but I feel like you guys should have a good moral compass. If you happen to find love, you happen to find love. And if you happen to be interested in the Icelandic men or women, then I say don't go there with your shark fin with your shark fin like ready to attack. Get to know some people and see like who's out there, and yeah, maybe it will have some good results for you. What else? Mr. Puppy says, why am I watching this when I'm Icelandic? And this comment actually has 62 thumbs up, and I commented to brush up on your beginner Icelandic skills, of course. I know which video this is from. This is from the language video, me too. Teaching Icelandic. That's funny. There's another comment that says, LMAO, just too funny, priceless stuff. You don't hear that every day, lol lol. That was very original. Then another person said, haha, Jeg lika. I think that means me too. Jeg lika. Because lika means also, but you wouldn't say I also, would you? So I have a feeling that means me too. Let me check. Yeah, so that means me too. So people actually joking around on that video like, why am I watching this when I'm Icelandic? Like, why? I guess it's just quite funny to see a black person, an African person, teaching Icelandic. You know what? There are plenty of black people who speak. There are loads of black people who speak Icelandic. I wasn't even teaching it perfectly. Some people did point out my mistakes and people were like correcting me and stuff. So that was quite an interesting video to do. I would love to do more of them. I'm happy this video ended with a positive, like a funny comment as opposed to like one of the mean ones. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do give it a thumbs up and please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, as well as turn your notifications on so you know exactly when I've uploaded a new video. And please do head over to Instagram and follow me there, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.